Welcome to the Royal Calcutta Turf Club. Calcutta Races Autumn Meeting Thursday, Saturday, 19 November 2022 race preview. The first race of the afternoon is the Sound of Cheers handicap for horses rated 1 to 26 to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. Couple of runners we are looking at. First, number 2, Daddy's Dream. Daddy's Dream had a start already in this season in race number 6, where it took the turn in 4th spot, eventually finished on 6th. The other runner which had a start in this race was number 5, Script. Script took the turn in 2nd last spot and eventually made up a placing and finished on 5th of 7 runners. The winner here was Dream Chaser, who won that race by a length and 3/4. Next up, we got number 3, Eastern Empress. In Eastern Empress, this run we are looking at is from the Calcutta Monsoon season and race number 7, where it took the turn in 4th spot, took the inside passage and eventually finished on 3rd of 5 runners. The winner here was Ornament Light in the Sky. Number 4 is Yaz. Win Legend out of Real Presence had one start. The start we are looking at is from the previous winter season in race number 78. This was over 1600 meters. Was leading the pack as they entered the home straight, but weakened very quickly and eventually finished on 5th of 7 runners. The winner here was Success, who won that race by a widening margin of 9 lengths. Number 6 is Mars. Mars had a couple of starts in the monsoon season. First up, it finished on 4th behind the Mentalist in race number 2, and its next start was in a forward position as they entered the last 250 meters, but then weakened and eventually finished on 7th of 7 runners. The winner here was Magneto, who won that race by 2 3/4 of length. Moving on to the second race of the afternoon, the Romantic Zeal handicap for horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26, eligible to be ridden by jockeys of Indian nationality, to be run over a distance of 1100 meters. First up, we got number 1, UV. UV had one start on the opening day in race number 6, where it took the turn in last spot and eventually finished on 7th of 7, and over this was 1100 meters. And the winner here was Dream Chaser, who won that race by taking charge into the last 200 meters and beating the field by about length and 3/4. Number 2 is Regency Gold. Had 3 starts in the monsoon season. First up, it finished on 5th behind Tiago in race number 6. Finished on 2nd behind Properly Posh in race number 10. In his last start, took the turn in 4th spot, then made some late gains and eventually came out and finished on 2nd behind Tiago, a length behind the winner. Three runners we are looking at. Number 3, the Mentalist. First up, it won in race number 2 in the monsoon season, beating Script. Next up, it finished on 4th behind Tiago in race number 14. Then in his last start, was leading the pack. Then Devuska took charge and the Mentalist had to settle for 2nd spot. We had number 4, Whispering Grass, who early on finished on 2nd in race number 25 behind Thar Justice. Then it finished on 4th in this race. We also had number 10, which is Shivalik Silk, who had 4 starts and placed in a couple of starts, and then in his last start took the turn in 5th spot and eventually finished on 6th of 8 runners. The winner here was Devuska. Number 5 is Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom, the start we are looking at is from race number 34 over 1100 meters. It was a little awkwardly away, but then made improvement and took the turn in 3rd spot. Into the last 250 meters, took charge and went away from the field, won that race by beating Southern Lad into 2nd, who was another runner in this race. We're looking at the start Southern Lad had in race number 46, where it finished on 2nd behind Jollafe, took the turn in 4th spot, tried to take an inside passage and eventually bridged the gap, but the winner was already gone. Southern Lad eventually finished on almost a length and a quarter behind the winner. Number 7, Ocean Dunes. Ocean Dunes, the start we are looking at is from the monsoon season in race number 50, where it was leading the pack into the last 350, then weakened and eventually finished on 7th of 8 runners. The winner here was Aircraft, who won that race by almost 3 parts of a length. Number 8 is Compliance. This run we are looking at is from the opening day, the first race of the season, and Compliance was in 8th spot as they took the turn, made some late gains and eventually came out and won, beating Beautiful by almost length and a half. Number 11 is Light in the Sky, had back-to-back wins in the monsoon season. First up, it won in race number 7, beating Fergus over 1200 meters in his next start. Went over 1100 meters in race number 13, made it a start-to-finish affair. There was a late challenge by Swift Lady, but Light in the Sky staved off the challenge, won that race by a length. Number 12 is Asterisk. Asterisk had a start in the previous winter season in race number 112, where it took the turn in 4th spot, weakened slightly and eventually finished on 5th. The winner here was Social Truth, who won that race by 7.5 lengths. Moving on to the third race of the afternoon, the Abilene Handicap for horses rated 41 to 66, rated 21 to 46, eligible to be run over a distance of 1200 meters. The first runner we are looking at is number 1, Centurion. Centurion had a start in the monsoon season where it was travelling in 6th spot in race number 39 and eventually finished on 6th of 10 runners. It had a much more productive winter season last time, placing in 3 of his 4 starts and winning 1 of them. Number 2 is East Side. East Side had quite a few starts in the monsoon season. This start we are looking at is from race number 45, where East Side was travelling in second last spot as they entered the home straight, was fast for an effort down the centre but didn't really accelerate, finished on 6th. The winner here was Rizina Star, who won that race in a start to finish essay, beating the field by almost 4 lengths. Number 3 is Devyuska. Devyuska had 3 starts in the monsoon season. First up, it finished on 7th in race number 6 behind Thiago, that it finished on 3rd in race number 14 behind Thiago. In his last start, took the turn in 3rd spot, eventually took charge into the last 150 meters and beat the Mentalist into 2nd, won that race by a length and a half. Number 4 is Magnite, had a couple of starts in the monsoon season. First up, it finished on 2nd behind D Knight Mysore in race number 4. In his last start, took the turn in 6th spot, eventually finished on last of 7 runners. It was observed after the race that Magnite burst a blood vessel. Number 5 is Star Justice. After placing in his first start in the monsoon season in race number 2, where it finished on 2nd behind Queenstown, in his next start it went over 1100 meters and won that race, beating Whispering Grass. In his last start, took the turn in 2nd last spot, eventually made up a placing and finished on 4th of 7 runners. The winner here was Silverita, who won that race by a length and a quarter. Number 6 is Temu's Choice. Had a couple of starts last winter season. First up, it finished on 5th behind Dandi Satyagraha. In his last start, the one we are looking at is in race number 54, where it took the turn in 4th spot, made some late gains and eventually finished on 3rd of 9 runners. The winner was Legendary Striker. Three runners we are looking at. Number 7, Thiago. Thiago was winner of his first 2 starts in the monsoon season. Then it finished on second in his next start, subsequently was unplaced in his last start, took the turn in second spot, then weakened and finished on fourth. Number 8 was Dubai Dunes, who had only one start in the monsoon season where it took the turn in third spot, eventually finished on third. Number 9 is Indian Tiger. Indian Tiger had quite a few starts, was winner in race number 12 where it beat Cape Tanneros, and his last start was leading the pack but weakened and eventually finished on second last of 7 runners. The winner here was Santana. Number 11 is Dubai Star, had one start in this season where in race number 4 it took the turn in 7th spot, made up a placing and eventually finished on 6th of 7 runners. The winner here was Queenstown, who won that race by 3 parts of a length. Moving on to the 4th race of the afternoon, the Winter Renaissance Handicap for horses rated 61 to 86, rated 41 to 66, eligible to be run over a distance of 1200 meters. First up, we got 3 runners we are looking at. Number 1, Drum Girl, who had 4 starts. Best start was in race number 27 where it finished on 4th behind Oasis, and his last start was leading the pack, was in 2nd spot but eventually finished on 6th. Number 2 is Exotic Queen. Exotic Queen had 3 starts in the monsoon season. It finished on 3rd in its previous outing in race number 27 where it finished on 3rd behind Oasis. In his last start, it took the turn in 3rd spot, eventually came out and won that race by beating Secret Pearl. We also had number 5, which is Secret Pearl, who took the turn in 4th spot, eventually came out and finished on 2nd. It had won an earlier start in race number 30, beating Properly Posh over 1200 meters. Number 4 is D-Night Mysore. D-Night Mysore was a winner in its first start of the season where it won, beating Magnite over 1200 meters. Subsequently finished on 2nd in race number 27 behind Oasis, finished on 2nd behind Stockbridge over 1600 meters. Then it finished on 4th behind Exotic Queen over 1100 meters. In its last start, D-Night Mysore went over 2000 meters and eventually finished on last of 7 runners. The winner here was Worth Smith. Number 6 is Cape Tanneros. Cape Tanneros had 3 starts. First up, it finished on 7th and behind Bai, then race number 5. Then it finished on 2nd behind Indian Tiger, where it was observed to be trotting lame. And his last start was in 2nd spot as they entered the home straight, then eventually weakened and finished on 7th of 8 runners behind Oasis. Cape Tanneros did have a mock race on his last start. Number 8 is Bahulian. Bahulian had a couple of starts in the monsoon season. Both starts it finished on 2nd. First up, it finished on 2nd behind Silver Rita in race number 20. And its last start in race number 56, it took the turn in 4th spot, made up some late gains but fell short by half a length behind Santana. We move on to the 5th and feature race of the afternoon, the Mayfowl Cup for horses 4-year-old and over, to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. First up, we got number 1, Jake. Jake, who had starts in Mysore. The run we are looking at is from Mysore track, and where it took the turn in 1st spot, eventually weakened and finished on 3rd of 3 runners. The winner here was Speedster, who won that race by 5 1/4 lengths. Number 2 is Agnostic. Agnostic had an awesome season in the monsoon season where it won both of its starts. First up, it won in race number 11, beating CEO of Cortez. In his last start, Agnostic led the pack and eventually won that race by 3.5 lengths. This race was over 1200 meters. It beat Awesome One into 2nd. Number 3 is Awesome One. Awesome One had a great winter season. Its 2 starts in the monsoon season. It finished on 2nd in its first start behind Agnostic. In his next start, over 1400 meters, Awesome One took the turn in 4th spot, made some gains and eventually finished on 3rd. The winner here was Sea Lion. We also had number 4, Tigrio. Tigrio was winner in race number 17 where it beat Redoubtable. In its last start, took the turn in 8th spot and eventually finished on 4th. Number 5 is Soaring High. Had a start on the opening day in race number 5 where Soaring High took the turn in 8th spot, tried to make a run towards the inside, but then eventually could finish on 5th of 8 runners. The winner here was Anastasia, who won that race by 2 1/4 lengths. Number 6 is Mystic Bay. Mystic Bay run we are looking at is from Pune. Mystic Bay took the turn in 6th spot, eventually finished on 6th of 7 runners. The winner here was Market King. This was over 1200 meters. Number 7 is the Protector. Couple of starts for the Protector. First up, it finished on 5th behind Agnostic in race number 29. Next up, it ran in race number 49. The one we are looking at, it took the turn in 8th spot, eventually came out and finished on 4th. The winner here was Full Volume, who won that race by almost 4 lengths. We move on to the 6th and last race of the day, the Regal Star Handicap. For horses rated 21 to 46, rated 1 to 26 eligible to be run over a distance of 1400 meters. The first runner we are looking at is Monteverdi. The start we are looking at is from the Coles Trial Stakes, where Monteverdi was leading the pack into the last 250 meters, then tried to battle on but could only manage 3rd spot. The winner here was Imperial Power, who won that race by 3 parts of a length. Number 2 is Summer Air, who skipped the monsoon season. The run we are looking at is from the previous winter season in race number 120, where Summer Air took the turn in last spot and eventually finished on last. It was observed after the race that Summer Air had burst her blood vessels. Number 4 is Mount View. Mount View had a couple of starts in the monsoon season. First up, it finished on 3rd behind Thiago in race number 6, and his next start was travelling in 2nd spot, tried to accelerate but eventually had to settle for 2nd spot behind Pot of Gold, almost 3.5 lengths from the winner. Number 5 is Hellblazer. Couple of starts for Hellblazer in the monsoon season. First step, it finished on 4th behind Rowdy in race number 9. Then it finished on 5th behind Kiefer. Hellblazer did win its last start it had on the winter track in race number 100, beating Island Lass. The last runner we are looking at is number 6, Magneto. This run is from the monsoon season in race number 53, where Magneto took the turn in 3rd spot, soon took charge and won that race by winning it by 2 3/4 lengths, beating Tahoe into 2nd. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.